Welcome back, everyone, to the Late Night Review. And tonight, I'm really happy to talk about one of the movies I have a lot of nostalgia for, and I used to watch it over and over again when I was a kid. I really like it, still like it. It's American Ninja 3. I've always liked American Ninja 3, and I think David Bradley was a good replacement for Michael Dudikoff. Love Michael Dudikoff. I wish he would have just been in part 3. He comes back in part 4, which was good, although I wish he would have been in that movie throughout. I actually wish they would have did a Double Dragon type thing and have Michael Dudikoff and David Bradley team up together in part 4 would have been awesome. But yeah, this movie, American Ninja 3 Blood Hunt, it's kind of a continuation of part 2 in the sense of, I mean, there is no continuation in terms of Joe Armstrong. Um, David Bradley plays a totally different character, and it's not a continuation in terms of uh, the life of Joe Armstrong, but it is a continuation with Steve James, his character, Curtis Jackson. He comes back and he meets David Bradley's character, and he finds out he's a ninja. They become friends, and then it kind of starts where him and Joe left off, and that's awesome. I'm so happy that Steve James came back. He's great in American Ninja 1 and 2 and Avenging Force. That was a really good movie. If you haven't seen Avenging Force, that was really a good movie as well as American Ninja 1 and 2. Steve James was in Hero and the Terror with Chuck Norris. I wish he would have made more movies. It's so sad. He passed away of pancreatic cancer. I think it was in 1993. Steve James he passed away of pancreatic cancer. That was sad. And who knows what he would have done. He was such a good team. He was so good as a team with Michael Dudikoff and the American Ninja and Avenging Force. He was good in American Ninja 3, and his life ended too early. Who knows what he would have done? But and he was in Delta Force as well with Chuck Norris, Hero in the Terror and Delta Force. And there's probably films he's been in that I haven't seen, perhaps. It's worth checking out. Maybe look that up. But American Ninja 3, I think, is a solid addition to the American Ninja franchise. There's no Michael Dudikoff. Some people might be disappointed with that. I think he's awesome as the American Ninja. I think he's the best American Ninja. But David Bradley does do a good job. I think he was a really good American Ninja too. I like David Bradley, and he knew the moves. And I think, like with all these movies like this, all the movies that are similar to this, the fighting isn't that realistic, but compared to some of the other kind of ninja movies that I'd seen, it's not bad. The fights are fun. They're interesting. Good guy against villain. It's kind of got a comic book type aspect to it. And all these movies do in a way, but they're fun. They're interesting. I like the score. One of the reasons I love these movies so much is I grew up playing Double Dragon, that video game. And so I had that going on, and I loved Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, and then The Sacred Stones. I played all those. And then when these movies came out, I watched them, and I played those games. I watched these, so they both went together beautifully. And a lot of nostalgia for all this stuff when I was a kid, and it influenced me to train and exercise, work out. I got my exercise videos. Some of them I got on the channel here, and I'll put some exercise videos, one or two, maybe at the end of this video. But this movie and so many others influenced me to exercise and work out. Not as a way to learn how to fight. I mean, these movies shouldn't be a guide on how to fight. You need practical skills for the street and for survival. But these movies are inspirational. They're fun. I like American Ninja 3. I think the story is okay. It kind of, this is what I was saying earlier, where it kind of leaves off with from part two, or maybe leaves off's the wrong way to put it, but it kind of follows that same line where they're trying to create a super ninja. They're looking for someone with the right genetics so they can create this super ninja. That's why it's called Blood Hunt. And they think David Bradley's character, who's a karate champion in here, it starts out at a karate tournament in this movie. It starts out him being trained by his master, and then as a little kid, and then later it shows him as an adult competing in a karate tournament. It also shows his father getting killed. I believe it's his father getting killed. And then later he's trained by a master, and then later he's going to get revenge on the group that did it. And that's, so it's another justice seeking kind of revenge type movie story, which is good. And it all plays in. I haven't seen this movie from beginning to end for a while, but when I was a kid, I've seen it hundreds of times, if you include all the times I rewound it and watched certain parts. But I still like this movie a lot. I really loved it when I was a kid. Nowadays, I've grown out of certain things, but not too much. I have that magic still where I really like this movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's fun, have a lot of nostalgia for it. And uh, the fighting is, like I said, it's not that realistic. Nowadays, I like movies more that have more realistic fighting in it, but I have so much nostalgia and love for certain movies that I saw when I was a kid that don't have very realistic fights in them. So there's that too, but not the fighting's fun. I'll have to say that the fighting is fun. It's colorful. The story is interesting. I like the whole good guy versus bad guy thing. They have a code of goodness and justice. David Bradley's character, and obviously Michael Dudikoff's character, Joe Armstrong, Steve James' character, Curtis Jackson, they all have this code of honor, this code of the gladiators, like Ventura said in Running Man. No, but just kidding. But they all have that code where they believe in doing the right thing, going after the bad guys, and being honest and all that. So there's an innocence about these movies that takes me back. There's a goodness about them that comforts me, and I like to go back and watch these movies I grew up with, and that's one of the main reasons, is they're good characters, people that you want to do well, you want them to survive, you want them to beat the bad guys. And it's pretty black and white in that sense. David Bradley, Michael Dudikoff, Steve James, they're good in these movies, and they go after the ninjas and the killers and all that. So I like that. That's my comfort zone, or one of my comfort zones. But it's a fair movie in terms. I mean, if Steve James and Mike and David Bradley weren't in here, it would be a fair movie. It'd be fun to check out and watch. But they're in it. It's the American Ninja series continued. It's part 3, makes it even better. I enjoy this movie. It takes me back. The pace is pretty good. It's not slow. It's not a slow movie. The pace is pretty good. There's a couple scenes in here where I wish maybe there was a fight or two added, but overall it's not a slow movie at all. It's a pretty decent pace. And part 2, out of all the American Ninja movies, in my book, had the fastest pace. Maybe one day I'll rank the American Ninja movies. And I just want to say, I never seen American Ninja 5 until recently. And now I know what I missed. I didn't like it that much, American Ninja 5. I enjoyed seeing David Bradley. Pat Morita, it was in there. And the guy his name slips my mind. And for some reason, I know who he is in a second, but his name always draw a blank. He was the ninja that Chuck Norris fought in the Octagon, and he was the Black Star Ninja in American Ninja 1. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. And great martial artist. He's in there, but you don't see him enough. He plays himself. And there's a T in his name. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Sorry, I apologize for forgetting his name. I should know it just like that. Seen him, he was in Jim Kata, the ninja, also in Octagon. Great martial artist. in everything I've seen him in. I've always enjoyed it. American Ninja 1 was probably the one where I saw him the most, and I was the most impressed with him in American Ninja 1 and then The Octagon. Um, but it was the American Ninja 5. It was like Death Wish 5. It probably should have never been made. There's certain aspects of it that were kind of okay, and I liked everyone in it, so I'm trying to be kind, but it was a movie that I wish wasn't made. I wish they would have stopped at part 4, because part 4 was a good installment, bringing Dudikoff back. That was good to see. I wish 5 would have never been made. David Bradley and Pat Morita and everyone else in there deserved better. I would say especially them, and that great martial artist as well. They deserved better, a better film. So I'll just leave it there. Part 5 is worth missing, but I love the first 4, still do. American Ninja 3 is a solid installment in this franchise. Maybe I'll do a ranking one day. American Ninja 2, just hinting a little bit, is probably the strongest. It's the fastest pace, and I love a fast pace, but they're all good. Sometimes I like one over the other. Sometimes I like part 4 the best, just because I have nostalgia for all of them, but just something about it. Maybe I'll do a ranking of it in the future. Sometimes I go back and like part 1 the best. Part 3 is a great installment. I really do. I don't know how it would end up in a ranking. If you haven't seen it and you like ninja movies, especially old school ninja movies, if you have nostalgia for the 80s, I think you'll enjoy American Ninja 3. Blood Hunt. It's a fun movie. The fighting isn't that realistic. One problem I have with most ninja movies, except maybe where the ninja is the star himself. Well, wait a second. That's the case in American Ninja. But the one problem I have with it is ninjas are supposed to be great warriors, and they're too easily defeated in the ninja movies. I think they should be made tougher. In part 2, American Ninja 2 is an exception. They're actually pretty darn tough in there. But almost all the ninja movies I've seen, the ninjas get beaten too easily. I wish those fights would, maybe there should be fewer ninjas, but better fights, fights that where the ninja's really, really good. Some of these scenes, some of these movies, you throw a stick or a club and the ninja's knocked out. That's, I think they go way too far with that. But I still love these movies. They're fun. Inspire, I think, to exercise. They inspire me to work out. But if you have nostalgia for these types of movies and you like these types of movies, I think you'll enjoy American Ninja 3. If you haven't seen it, it's a good one. It's got plenty of action and a good pace. And I think the characters are interesting. The good guys, you want them to do well. You want them to survive. You do have someone to root for. I think in modern movies, often we don't really have a lot of characters to root for. There's something off-putting or irritating or obnoxious about almost everybody. But these guys here, you want them to succeed. You want them, you're on their side. And I think that's a big issue, big thing, and an asset to a lot of these older movies. But every decade has great movies. There's always a movie that comes along that I like and that has some of these qualities. So, but anyway, I enjoy American Ninja Part 3, and I think you will too if you like this. If you don't like these types of movies, you'll probably say, oh, it's just B-rated, waste of time. But I like it. I like American Ninja 3. I grew up watching it. And this has been the Late Night Review. Please like and subscribe and share this video, hype it up, pump it up, and let people know about the channel so they can see this type of content too. Take care, everybody, and have a good night.